welcome into our next episode. Hey, Scott, how's it going?
Good, buddy. What's going on, John?
Nothing. No more days without football. Football tonight, football yesterday, football all weekend.
Yeah, baby. Fall is here.
Yeah, it's good. But we're going to hit the 90s, I guess, this upcoming week.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, it's going to be in the 90s.
What day is that supposed to be? When did they say that?
Whatever the first day of school is, like Tuesday or something.
Oh, wonderful. Great.
Wednesday. But I think after Thursday, it's got to go backwards. I think this has got to be the last.
It's been pretty cold in the mornings. The mornings have been cold lately.
It's been nice, really nice. So no more. There's a great game Sunday night football. LSU plays number 5. LSU plays number 8 Florida State. So that'll be good Sunday night.
Yeah.
Get used to Sunday night football again. Yeah. I was going to ask you something. Oh, I forgot to say it's 6:30. Halfway through, Robert Butler from SportSkope will be with us. We're going to talk about college football. He's down there in the SEC. We'll talk about Southeast Conference, Alabama, and all them guys. There was a question that I saw, and I feel like this was an easy. No, you know what? Let's not do that question. Let's do something first. Did you see the Patriots waive Zappy? I was kind of surprised.
I wasn't.
No.
I can't say that. So once I heard it happen and it got explained to me what he was doing,
right?
I'm sure it got explained to those guys what he was doing. Everybody understands now what he's doing. He's just going to run with one quarterback and bring one practice squad quarterback up every week for the game.
I wonder why.
Because it gets him another player on the roster. He's a sneaky son of a bitch. He found the loophole, dude. Now everybody's going to do it.
Yeah, I wonder what player. Yeah.
Better hope that nobody. But he got lucky and nobody claimed him.
Right.
That's when they got lucky. So there must have been some kind of understanding or some. I don't know. I don't know how he pulled it off and nobody did that. I don't know how Buffalo didn't grab Zappy immediately.
Yeah, because I would imagine you'd want him. I mean, the Bears could have used him. They had first crack at it. I mean,
our backups look like crap, dude. Kyle Allen looks terrible.
Did you see who the Bears backup is? He beat out P.J. Walker, the kid who played at Shepherd University. One year he had 60 touchdowns. Insanity, the numbers he put up at this division, like a Division II school, like a school that would play Buff State. But he was awfully.
Really?
Yeah, he was awfully good in the preseason. It was ridiculous how good. He could run, he could throw, he could do everything. So I don't know.
Did he stay with you guys?
Yeah, they kept him and they let go of P.J. Walker. So that was.
It's the style, man. That's perfect, right? What more do you need?
Yeah. Shepherd University, though, he's got to be. I mean, think about how nuts that is to have that. I can't even imagine. It's Buff State. I mean, that's basically what it is.
Yeah, right. Well, that's like Buffalo with Andre Reed. Where'd he come from?
Oh,
from Backwoods University or something?
It was like Kuntstown or something.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to say it the other way. Yeah.
Right. I wasn't going to ask you.
Yeah, I almost said it. I know. I almost did. Let me ask you about this. Another surprise, because we talked about this at the end of the show last week, and Trey Lance ends up in Dallas. I didn't see Dallas doing it, but a 4th-round pick for him, I guess, is why not?
Buffalo tried getting him.
I saw that. Interesting. Yep.
I get it. I get what they would have probably done. They probably would have thought they could have brought him in, developed him,
trade him,
and got rid of him.
They'd have to.
They seem to be able to do that with players on the offense, but they're pretty shitty at, developing defensive players. I got a big problem with their development issues with their defensive players, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
there's an issue. I think there's an issue over there. I do. I mean, dude, Kyrie Elam's like pretty much on the bench.
Right.
He's like third. Was he a third stringer now? Practically. I don't know what's going on, but
right.
Clean that up, dude.
Well, I thought, all right, so eventually, I mean, Dak's got to be coming to an end. I mean, it's coming.
I don't know. Really? Is he though?
Well, how many years?
Bayless. Did you see Skip Bayless? Did you see what he?
No. No, what did he say?
Skip Bayless, dude. I can't stand that guy. He's like, this is gonna go down as the biggest steal in NFL history. He said.
Oh my God.
And I can't remember what he compared it. Oh, he compared it to the Herschel Walker trade.
I had
And I'm like, boy, oh boy, Skip, you better hope this kid's good, dude. You're already putting pressure on him. and call it the Dak's head. You're already starting the shit, right?
Yeah, Johnny Manziel, he did it with the guy.
Undue pressure.
Yeah, the guy who's now quarterback at Baker Mayfield. I mean, he loved him.
Yeah, like let the kid. I mean, probably not the best place for him to go. I don't think it's going to help him because they're going to either love him or they're going to fucking hate him.
Yeah, and he's not going to
play. Give him time to develop, John. Really?
He's not going to play, right? I mean, because Dak's playing.
We're going to call for Dak's head if Dak starts playing bad. Watch.
Yeah, and they're going to hate. I don't know if Lance is ready. Lance has played 19 games. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Comes with notoriety to him. That's the problem.
Yeah,
because of how high he got drafted. There's going to be an expectation, unrealistically so, placed on him, like there always is, that he's going to unseat Dak. That's what people are going to expect because of how high of a draft pick he was.
We've said this, me and you both, and you agreed with me when I said it, and I know you. Trubisky is the perfect example. It isn't his fault that they picked him.
No, it's not Trey Lance's fault at all.
He takes the brunt of it when it should be the teams that took him. It has nothing to do with
the
player.
He knew how raw the kid was.
Yeah.
And they put too much pressure on him too early in his life. If they were going to sit and just let him kick back, then they had the Jimmy G bullshit. What they did to Jimmy G, I'll go practice over there. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the shit that went on was ridiculous.
You know what's funny though? It's identical to what the Bears did with Trubisky in a lot of ways. They traded to do it and they bring him in. Man, it's very identical because Trubisky hardly started many games. He didn't start many games in high school. He didn't start many really in college.
Yeah, you had said that. I was curious on why he got. They just created enough buzz, or they?
I guess.
Were they reaching like crazy or something?
No reason. I mean,
trying to take a chance on something wild or something. Were they trying to get something in a bottle?
That was the draft with Mahomes and Allen, or no? What was it? It was the draft.
No, that's when Buffalo traded their pick for that they could have picked Mahomes.
My God, and the Bears could have right there. I mean, what a difference the world would be.
Well, traded with Kansas City, and that's what kicked it all off. Yep.
Isn't that something? But anyways, Trey Lance, I feel bad. I always do for these guys that get drafted way too high, and it happens in every sport too. They always get it, and it's always the player It's always the player that gets blamed for not living up to the expectation when it should be the team. They made it. The GMs should be fired. Those are huge mistakes in my mind.
Unless you come out and spell it out so that the expectation isn't put on the kid. The pressure's not put on him. Like Trey Lance had, man, oh man, the pressure that the poor kid had to be under, dude. Seriously. Do you imagine that?
Yeah.
And people hate him for no reason at all. It's not his fault. And I'm sure lots of fans there don't like him.
Yeah, it's not. He didn't do. I mean, he got hurt in that whatever game, maybe the first game of the season last year.
Did he break his ankle or something like that?
I feel like it wasn't against the Bears. I think it might have been game one. I don't know, but it was early on.
Yeah, it was season ending.
He's gone, and I don't know. I hope Dallas shocked me. I didn't even think of anywhere he could go. We were trying to think about it. I remember last week, and I don't know who we ended up. I mean, we thought Seattle maybe. You know, I thought with Geno Smith. Kind of, you never know.
Buffalo saw a project that they could maybe use because he's similar play to maybe Josh, I guess, with the running and things like that. Maybe they thought they could. They probably thought they could develop him. They could bring him to a nice, good environment where the expectations from the fan base are going to be like, dude, everybody knows you're not going to take over for Josh, so there's no pressure on him. And I think they like to do that for guys that are good too, that are possibly. So they must think highly of him if they would have thought to try to trade for him.
Trey Lance's mind, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him for this thought. He wants to play. Like I can see why he wants to play now. Because he hasn't really been given the opportunity to play. But his sample size that he hasn't been that great. No, and he probably shouldn't. I agree. He probably shouldn't. He
should expect. If
2 years,
relax. If you're going into it like that, then you're probably going to end up on a bench, or you're not going to be in the league. You know what I mean?
Kind of a good point here by John. Reminds him a little bit what the Bills did to EJ Manuel.
Oh yeah, when they reached for him.
Yeah.
They totally reached.
Yeah, this one's so bad because it was like the first. What was it? The first pick over the first quarterback taken, whatever it was. It was number 2. It was like Trubisky all over again. What a nightmare. But I don't know. Dallas is weird because Dallas is going to be in turmoil. Mike McCarthy may get fired. You never know. I mean, anything could happen over there because
that's why what's his name stuck around for the defense, right?
Oh, Quinn. Yeah.
He's expecting that if McCarthy's gone, he's going to be there. Has to be on some unspoken deal there behind the scenes with Jerry Jones. I don't see why Quinn wouldn't have left. He had the opportunity.
Yeah, and he would make I think he's good. I would love to have, as a
Great people. Oh, sure. People
you know?
wanted him. People wanted him during the offseason,
Definitely.
Early on, I remember early on he said he was staying with Dallas.
Interesting development on one thing I saw was Jonathan Taylor that we talked about. The one team that came up, and it was on ESPN too. I mean, so I guess it could be honest. The Packers. I was surprised. What in the?
Yeah.
You got three. You already got you got two of them already.
I guess because they have the money and everybody's under rookie contracts.
Wow.
Right? Isn't it like the average age of the team is 26 and a half years old?
God, how old is Aaron Jones, though? Those guys feel like they've been there forever, don't they?
Yeah, but their wide receivers and their quarterback are all on rookie contracts. I mean, now's the time to they must think a lot of Jordan Love if they were about to take a swing like that on a contract he's going to expect. Because Jonathan Taylor's expecting to get paid unrealistic money.
Yeah, what's he want, about 17 a year?
He's out of his mind. He's not going to get it. Just like, gotta say, man, Chris Ballard, I give him credit when they said to him, we won 4 games. Probably, you might have wanted a thought to negotiate after your MVP, close to MVP winning season,
Right, yeah. Now, let me see what he said here. Green Bay was prepared to make Taylor the highest paid running back in the NFL, according to ESPN. The Dolphins just had some I think they just threw some things out there. I don't think they were it seemed like ESPN was saying the Dolphins weren't as in it as much as the
Chris
Packers.
Ballard said they never even talked picks.
With the Dolphins, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So the whole Jalen Waddle thing, is it unrealistic for them to ask for Jalen Waddle? Why I don't know why people are going like, oh my God, dude, the guy was just like runner-up for MVP. And you're saying he's unrealistic to ask for a runner-up MVP candidate or the number 2 wide receiver on your team? I don't understand where the issue is there.
I think it's all because the running back gets disrespected. The running backs are really.
Think about that. They were bitching. Jalen Waddle's a number 2.
Yeah, they don't
probably because they consider him a number 1, but you know what I mean.
Either way, that's a top. Yeah, I mean I get the running backs anger. I mean, you can. I understand it. They get.
I get it, dude. I would strike if I was. Then don't play.
I don't blame them.
That's what you need to do.
Because
that's what you need to do.
They get their asses kicked, like you said, 5 years, 6 years, and now. Be a backup if you're lucky or whatever.
They've got to change the length of the rookie contract for running backs to 2 years.
They should. Yeah, I agree with that.
It's not fair the way they get put through a meat grinder. The way I've watched teams do it. We talked about it, man. Matt Forte is a perfect example with what Chicago did to that guy.
Yeah.
They relied on him. They never drafted a good quarterback, and they just relied on that dude every single year and just pounded. It was run. I drafted him all the time because he had so many runs. He was going to break one of them.
Oh my God, runs and receptions. He was
great.
He was unbelievable.
If he had a quarterback, they could have competed.
Well, the one time they had one, and it just went to hell because everyone had mental issues. Was Cutler when they had Cutler and they had Brandon Marshall and they had Elshon Jeffrey But then all of a sudden, Marshall and Cutler, who were the best of friends, they hated each other. It's just out of nowhere, it blew up.
Cutler's a weird dude.
He was a problem, yeah.
He's a dick.
I think so.
You could just tell he's a dick. There's no doubt about it. You can just see it on his face.
Yeah, he's got the face.
He wears it, that he doesn't care. He just has that attitude about him,
And that's why in that NFC Championship game against Green Bay, when he doesn't come out at halftime and play, and he's sitting there on the sidelines, that the whole problem was his face. Everyone could understand it's his knee. He couldn't play. He gets surgery. The whole deal. It was his face.
I don't give a shit look.
Yeah, basically just leaning on the crutches. And I'll never forget that game because there was someone. Oh my God! They had to go to the third. Oh, their freaking quarterback after Cutler went out was the guy who was here. Who the hell was he? Oh my God! He was a Bills quarterback. He might have even started for them at one point.
Trent Edwards?
Yes. Yeah, I think it was him.
Dude, Trent Edwards started here for like 3 years. They thought he was the next big thing, and he just never.
Maybe it wasn't.
He never panned out with Stevie Johnson. I don't know where he went when he left Buffalo, but.
And then
I don't know that he went to Chicago.
No, it wasn't Chicago. Damn it, I can't remember the name of the guy. I can see him. He was a backup all the time. I think he was a backup in Buffalo. But anyways, he came in and he got hurt, and Caleb Haney had to play, and now that's ancient history. No, not Chad Henne. No, he played for Buffalo. This guy, I just can't remember his name. He wore number 15. I even well, no, that had to be Jack Kemp, so he probably couldn't. I can't remember.
A lot of shitty quarterbacks came through Buffalo, brother, during that whole tear.
Yeah, I know. I can't remember who he was.
What a horrible run. We used to draft terribly. I'll never forget the Mike Williams draft.
Mm.
And they described him as a dancing bear. And he shit the bed from jump.
Yeah.
He was huge, but he sucked. He sucked. He was terrible.
Look, Chicago and Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo's had it better than Chicago, honestly, because Chicago, my God, Cade McNown, Rick Meyer. I mean, you just go on.
Yeah, you guys had the mediocrity years.
Todd Collins, that's it, John. Yes, it was Todd Collins.
Todd Collins won a damn Super Bowl, dude.
Did he really?
With Kansas City.
Did he? Yes, and he played for the Bears. He came in the second half. He got hurt, and then Caleb Haney had to play. So
yeah, Todd Collins. They always leave, and they win Super Bowls.
Yeah,
come to the Bills, dude. If you leave, you're definitely going to win a bowl. You know what I mean? It seems to always happen, man.
There was I was looking at T.J. Hawkinson. He had 86 catches last year. In his last 3 years, he's had 67, 61, and 86. I think he was hurt in and around there. What a contract for the tight end, though. 4 years, $68 million. He gets 42 guaranteed.
Think he deserved it?
No.
Me neither. That's why I didn't understand why he got it.
And that just raises the rate. I mean, that just
with the hype that I heard about that guy.
Yeah.
Before the draft and how great he was supposed to be, I'm like, when is he going to be great?
Right. Yeah, it hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened, right? So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, that's why.
Well, now he's
the same thing about Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, that's got to start.
I need to see. I mean, what's going on there? I mean,
he had such a good rookie year too. It was one of the best rookie years ever. Yeah,
that's what I don't understand.
And I blame the Falcons a little bit too, though, because it's been terrible down there.
Yeah, it has.
A little bit bad. I mean, everything's been just.
Last year should have been better.
Yeah. I mean, they decided to just go with Cordell Patterson that 1 year.
I mean, Jesus, exactly, dude. At that point, you could have threw to anybody because they expected Cordell Patterson to run every single time. You know what I mean? And he did, like, as straight up as hell. Like, that dude runs like straight up, and it's unreal to watch him play. It's amazing to me as big as that dude is that he. It's impressive, man. It really is. I guess I never really gave him the respect, and then I watched him last year, and I'm just like, holy cow!
Yeah,
he's like a gazelle.
He's really returning kicks. He's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And I will say this: there's a bunch of running backs that deserve that money, not Hawkinson. Like that is an unbelievable $42 million up front. I know he has really progressed. I mean, he had 86 catches in Minnesota last year, because I think the other years were with Detroit. So we'll see, I guess. I mean, they're banking.
Man. They talk on Pat McAfee's show, and they're like, dude. And when they have the same conversations that you and I are having right now, right, talking about this kind of stuff and how they're disrespected, they were like, it's turned into it's still a passing league.
Yeah.
You know, it's a passing league. That's why they're not getting any money. The money's going to the wide receivers and the quarterbacks and tight ends. They're not worried about the running. They don't need the running back to get them down to the goal line. They need the running back on couple two and for play action and things like that. That's all they really need it for. They need the running back to establish enough of a threat that they can throw all over the place. That's it. They've relinquished to that, right? At least to me, it seems that way.
He got the $17 million that Jonathan Taylor wants. That was $17 million a year. Plus wow. Sure. I just think Jonathan Taylor, to me, you know who we said this before, Deebo Samuel, I guess Cordell Patterson, in a way Christian McCaffrey, but there's been other guys, through the years we've had Christian McCaffrey types.
Sure. Usually they don't last for very long.
Something happened when Cordell Patterson and Deebo Samuel started running the ball. I feel like something. Maybe it was.
Well, that just opened up a whole new part of the playbook, dude.
Where they were never thinking. I mean,
never thinking that before, right?
I feel
so all the value to certain positions just went, but bam! Look at what we can do.
I got to ask you.
What's up?
This. The only guy in the past when we were younger, the big suit, Barry Sanders, he retired early. But, you think of Peyton, you think of Emmitt Smith, you think of all these guys played 14 years, some of them. These fucking guys, they would get the ball over, and they would be. There's times that Peyton ran it 40 times. There was times that Emmitt would run it 30 times. Wow.
We used to laugh and laugh. Me and this one old guy were in a bar one time, and we're sitting there watching the Bills. And he was like, he said, you know why the Bills are having so much trouble? And I said, why? It just happened to be in the game they were playing. And he said, because they're so predictable.
Yeah.
It's Thurman run left, Thurman run right, Kelly drop back, throw to Reed. Like, the game, they were having trouble in this game. And he was like, look, it's always the same. So I started paying more attention to that. And I was like, yeah, you're right. That's exactly what it turned into. For the most part, Buffalo always ran on first down. And even if you stacked the line and you knew they were going to run it, they did it anyway.
Well, yeah. Remember the years?
You know what I mean? And it was like, sometimes they would run in situations where you're like, dude, everybody on the waterhead down the road that doesn't know football knew you were going to run on that play. Yeah. And you did it anyway. Well, they wasted it down, right? So I never understood that with teams when they do that.
Yeah, and the Bills, remember back then, it was that whatever the hell they call it, was that no huddle shit. There was you had to be such a good offensive lineman to put up with that, to keep pace.
Man, did they kick the shit out of defenses? They couldn't breathe.
No, I couldn't breathe.
That off and did that. How smart was that? That was genius at the time. It was genius. They were great at it too.
Them and the Bengals. The Bengals.
You could never substitute your defensive players because you never had enough time.
Right.
Or you were caught with too many men on the field, or short, or out of position, or whatever. I mean, well, that's what got them to the Super Bowl. It's trickery. I mean, it was awesome. They were really good at executing it.
And in the end, Scott, that's what ends up making them lose in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it did.
In those Super Bowls, because you could tell the defense got tired, the whole thing, because they couldn't tackle no more in that Giants Super Bowl.
And the defense would always be on the field 80% of the time, and the offense 20%, because they'd score in like 2 plays. Boom, boom, Reed, down, gone.
Could you see that in this game? Nowadays, could you see anybody doing that?
They're not built like that anymore.
Yeah,
quarterbacks are bigger.
Yeah,
quarterbacks are bigger. Running backs are a little bit smaller,
and the O-line's bigger.
O-lines are big again,
way bigger. I mean, because I think about
wide receivers, because the wide receivers are just ginormous now, dude. They're all 6'4", 6'5".
You got guys on your offensive line on any team that could be 6'6", 360. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. It's not the one guy from Ohio State who plays for Cleveland is 6'8", 360. That's like, you're like Big John Stud. I mean, you're ridiculous.
That's a massive guy right there, huh?
That's what I wonder when I was watching Bryce Young play the other day. I don't know how the hell he's going to see. I mean, he did it in Alabama because that's where they come from. They're all 6'5" there.
Maybe he'll have to Flutie.
Yeah, he can't
jump up in the air. Dude, when I would watch Flutie play, and he would jump the air, but it would work.
Oh my God!
You could never complain with the results because it worked.
Son of a bitch. No, I complained.
I know you hate him.
I complained in 1986.
I know you hate him.
Complaining. It wasn't his fault either. It wasn't his fault. It was Ditka's fault.
But you know what? He came to Buffalo and he
matured.
He reinvented himself. He reinvented himself and became a hero to the city.
He had no business being in 1986 being the starting quarterback in a playoff game. It was ridiculous. I mean, when you had other guys. I mean, that was insane. But
look what he did with the Bills. He should have played that playoff game, and they pulled him and didn't play him.
And that's right. That's Rob Johnson, or no?
Yeah. And I liked Rob Johnson too. But that was another one. It was like, dude, you saw the guy play one game and you fell in love with him and grabbed him. Like, that was the most ridiculous trade I'd ever seen. Yeah. Based on one game. When he came in but I was like, well, what are we even doing with this guy? You better hope this shit works, dudes.
Couple minutes, we'll have Robert Butler from SportSkope. We're going to talk college football, Southeast Conference, maybe some top 10. I got a ton of picks for this week. We'll get our money.
I got to get a pen. I want to write it down because I got some free money going on FanDuel, so I want to run some stuff. Yeah, I got to tell you a couple things I bet for the season.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to see what you think of these because I didn't tell you before the show. We usually talk about that. What am I doing?
I can hear you still, even if that.
Like, I don't know what happens. So it looks like my camera was unplugged. Okay. Hold on.
All right.
Okay, I'm still here. Don't worry,
Yep,
buddy.
I can hear you. Yep.
Yeah, I think what happens is when it became unplugged, then it switches to the front camera, which is blocked. There we go. It should come up. Come on.
Wow, that blood. Did you see that? Jeez, like someone. I don't know what the hell happened outside. Did you see that flash of light? You didn't see it. Did you see it?
I'm just plugging it back in. Hold on here.
Yeah, it went right in my. What the heck? All hell breaking loose here. And
Can you hear me still?
oh, I hear you good.
Okay.
So what do you got?
I don't know what happened, man. Like,
Oh, I don't know. Well, we'll have you. Like,
my camera kind of stopped, just crapped out and stopped working. I don't know why, but I'll have to do this.
We'll go audio.
Oh, no, I got to switch cameras. That's all.
Oh, okay. All right. Robert's going to be here in a couple minutes, and we'll bring him in. I got games, Robin. I got a ton of them. Yeah. We got to talk about that, and we got to talk about that Kansas City Detroit game too, because we won't be on before.
What's going on? Like my camera won't even. I can't even turn my front camera on my computer. Like something happened.
Do you want to stick audio only?
Yeah, let me try this here. I don't understand why. I don't understand what happened to my computer on the.
Or do you want to? Do you have to go back? You can come out and come back in. I'll throw you back in.
Yeah, let me go out and come back in and see what's going on.
I'm going to bring Robert in, and then I'll get you back in.
Okay.
All right, Scott. All right, here he is, Robert Butler, SportSkope. Hey, Robert.
Hey, John. Good to see you. Always
nice to
like
see you
the backdrop.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Oh man, glad to have you on. I love it. College football is just, even last night was great. I love it all. Let's talk. You're down there in Southeast. You're in it. You're in the SEC.
Yeah.
Let me ask you straight out first about Alabama and what you might hear. Who's the quarterback situation? Is there a definite guy, or are they going with a bunch of them, or who is it?
Well, they decided to go with Moreau, the guy that played last year. When oh God, what's the guy's name? He's slipping my mind. When their starter, their number one pick overall.
Oh, no, Young.
Yeah,
right.
When Young got hurt, this guy came in the Arkansas game.
Yes,
very fast, great athlete, very raw as a passer. Did not expect him to get the nod. He's going to get the nod tomorrow, however, against MTSU. But there's other quarterbacks there that may knock him out. Nick Saban's done this before in the past when he wasn't really sure who's going to be that starting quarterback and whatnot. So we'll see it play out. I think, and then part of me thinks maybe this guy, since he's been with the teams last year, he must be killing it in practice,
right.
Or he's working hard. Nick's going to give him an early shot to get it against a team like an MTSU with their 39-point favorites, and they're also out of here. They're like 25 minutes south of Nashville, out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So we'll see how it plays out. I think Alabama, they're going to be a really good team this year. Kevin Steele is their new defensive coordinator. They moved off the guy they had last year who gave up 52 points to Tennessee.
Yeah.
But, they had the number one class this past year. They had the number two class last year, according to 24/7, which ranks all the classes. And Nick Saban was upset about that. And they had the number one the year before that. So if you average the three classes, it's 1-2-1, and he's still not satisfied.
No. And how many more years?
Competitive.
Couple more years left, you think 2 more years for him? 3 at best? He's got to be ready to.
He says he feels about 39.
Oh, geez.
I was looking at some old tape of him. He doesn't really look older than like 40, 45.
Jeez.
The guy's 70.
Yeah. It's funny. You got Alabama, you got Georgia, and you got Tennessee, and they're all going to be starting new quarterbacks. So
well, Alabama, Georgia. Who else do you say?
The Volunteers, Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee's got a new one. Alabama, Georgia, yes.
All new. I mean, those are to me, they're the top. I mean, I know they're in different divisions, but those
LSU's got a returning guy.
Oh, that's right. LSU.
Yeah.
How could
Jalen Daniels?
He's the guy, and they play Sunday night against Florida State.
Yeah, huge game. Huge game. That may be the biggest game of the weekend.
What do you think of we're there. Let's talk about LSU. How do you feel about LSU? Let me bring Scott in while you're telling me.
See if we can get him squared away.
Yeah.
Happens on the show all the time. Good to see you, bro.
Hey, buddy. Sorry about that.
Man. Life in the internet world, man. It's just is what it is, brother.
Every time I hit this cord, this whole thing shuts down on me, and it's hard to get it turned back. It's ridiculous.
LSU. What do you think?
LSU. Now, mind you, they've got 15 starters coming back. They were 10-4 last year. They got better as the season went along. Unlike a lot of people, I actually like Brian Kelly. I think he is a very good coach. I think he took Notre Dame as far as he could take them. And I do think that you gave him another year to get some transfers and some recruits in. I actually got him in the Final Four, man. Now, that being said, folks, who was it that said Urban Meyer? Urban Meyer said earlier this week that it's the most parity he's ever seen in college football. He says there's about 12 teams that can legitimately win a national championship.
Wow.
I don't know about 12, but I could probably come up with 10 guys.
Yeah,
I've never thought I would say that. It's perfect timing for the 12-team playoff next year. So
it is, and we're going to do that shortly. I want to do that with you. But like Brian Kelly, the best thing with him. Remember when he come down there and tried to use his fake Southern accent?
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah.
But in a way, though, that was he was trying. I don't know what he was doing.
At the end of the day, as long as you win and coach. Yeah. The people don't. That's water off the. I mean, they don't care. You know, you can put on it. You can talk like Waterboy, or one of the characters. You know, that guy. You know, that guy. So if you put W's up on Saturdays in September through November, everything's everything, man.
Yeah, and they got a big one coming up already Sunday night.
And I think they'll knock out Florida State now. Some are saying otherwise, but I felt like they kind of gave that game away early last year anyways. But we'll see. They got a good QB too, so we'll see. That's what makes it a great game.
Let's talk about Georgia.
Yeah.
They're trying. They're a dynasty trying to win again. I mean, their quarter. I mean, Stetson Bennett. The thing about him was any game, he was never out of it. He was just one of those types of guys. I don't know. Things would break down. He made things work. What do you know about them guys? Their new quarterback. Big kid, I think. He looks bigger.
Well, Bennett, you got to remind yourself this guy was 25 years old last year. You know, there's quarterbacks getting their second contract in NFL at that age. Georgia has lost 25 players in the past 2 years in the draft alone.
Wow. Okay.
They haven't recruited as well the last 3 years as an Alabama or A&M. They've been close. 2018, 2019, they had some just bomb class. I mean, 7, 8, 5-star guys. And we saw what they turned out to be. They got 2 national championships out of it. But I think they do have a very easy schedule. I'm not sure about this quarterback. I know he's highly recruited, but I haven't heard any kind of buzz about him. I do like Brock Bowers. He's going to be a highly sought-after tight end in the draft. I could tell you that for sure. But I could see him getting upset. I could see maybe a Auburn beating him, maybe a Tennessee beating him. And if they don't, I could see an Alabama beating them in the SEC championship game. It's too much turnover at this point.
I know, there really is. And I mean, let me ask you about
before you move on. Why did he, as old as he is, how come he didn't enter the NFL draft?
These guys.
Well, I remember hearing his name.
Somebody's probably telling them your stock is not there. Your stock is not there. You're going to a national championship contender. You're going to get a lot of TV time. Maybe he got an NIL deal. There's a lot of that going on right now. I mean, was it Milton? The quarterback for Tennessee, he's like 23, 24. Hendon Hooker was 25. And I was talking to Al Borges, former offensive coordinator for Auburn. He was telling me that, COVID helped these guys get another gray shirt, blue shirt. So you're getting guys in their mid-20s all over the place.
Did you hear Caleb Williams say he's thinking he'll stay? He's making $1.5 million. He's enjoying himself. Yeah. Maybe he won't declare. I mean, that's interesting.
he's a very raw guy. He admitted that he's got some learning to do. Some scouts are saying he's like Mahomes. Anybody that can throw a ball far and they can run, they get compared to Patrick Mahomes or whoever's hot in the NFL. Remember, he's got the Lincoln Riley stigma at this point. I mean, Baker Mayfield is, what is he on his fourth team? Kyler Murray. There's a story out now that Arizona may put him on the injured reserve to save some money because they want to move on. So those are Lincoln Riley guys, So maybe he's trying to buck that a little bit and get a little bit more polished and get some more starts under his belt. So I wouldn't blame him. But then again, I don't know, man. I don't know. If you're the number 1 overall pick or number 2, I don't know how much NIL money can really do that with the guaranteed contract in NFL.
Yeah, and
so
you get
much being guaranteed,
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, the injury, God forbid.
He's probably just saying that. Yeah, everybody says it. Nobody says I'm leaving after this year. I've never heard anybody say that.
No, yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, yeah, no, I heard the one. He just ran the hell out of Ohio State in Jigba. He got hurt once, and that was it. He was done. He got hurt against Notre Dame week 3. He didn't return.
He's already hurt at Seattle, man. I'm disappointed in that one. I thought he was going to be a good fantasy player.
Tennessee now, the Volunteers. You touched on the new quarterback there. God,
Joe Milton. I think it's Milton.
Yeah, it could be their year. Georgia might be,
they have a shot. They've got Georgia at Tennessee this year. They play tomorrow down the street from me. They're playing in Nashville tomorrow. Sold out stadium. I think his name's Joe Milton. Let me go ahead and let me turn that page. I got this Phil Steele magazine. This is the college football Bible over here.
Yeah, what the hell's his name?
Joe Milton.
Joe Milton.
Yeah, it was Joe Milton. Okay. I haven't heard as much hype as a guy who hasn't been hyped up before, other than Joe Milton. There's a lot of film on him, flinging it down the field. Played really well in the Orange Bowl against Clemson. Top 2 receivers looking good. Tennessee's got 12 starters coming back. But everything I get that he's playing really well. And he could throw the ball country mile. He's lost weight. He seems more polished. And I expect a big year. Actually, I have this guy winning the Heisman. I really do. Milton is that good. He's in the right system. They're going to play in the big enough game. I don't think they'll beat Alabama down there this year. But if they play them tough, this team loses 1 or 2 games, and he just kills it in stats. Remember, Tennessee had the number 1 offense in college football last year, most of the year before Hendon Hooker got hurt in the South Carolina game. So I think they're going to play well. Not quite sure. This spread offense and this really quick offense that they run, the downside is it wears your defense down. I can see losing to a team like at Kentucky or at Missouri, looking ahead or something like that, or maybe in flat out losing to Georgia, and that put them out. But that don't mean they'll still be fun to watch. I kind of wish they would just slow their offense down as the season gets long because you're wearing your own defense out. They gave up 65 points last year or something like that to South Carolina.
Yeah. That was – all right, so let me get this. West, I say Alabama, LSU, the East, Tennessee, and Georgia, right? Who am I missing? Is there anyone else that could sneak in?
Well, A&M's got Bobby Petrino, former coach of Lamar Jackson from University of Louisville. Kind of a slimy guy. Has gotten some trouble at Arkansas over the years. You can't trust him as far as you can throw him. But he's good with quarterbacks, guys. He's very good with quarterbacks. A&M's got a lot of talent. He's supposed to be calling the plays. And then I heard maybe Jimbo's calling the play. I think he probably will call the plays. Fisher's starting to get some heat on him. They're paying him a lot of money. They took a chance, brought him in as the offensive coordinator. They could make some noise. I don't think Florida's going to do anything. Auburn, I think they could be a dark horse and kind of a sleeper as far as upsetting teams, maybe in Alabama at the end. Somebody like that. They got Hugh Freeze. I don't quite think they got the talent this year to do it. But Possibly. And, of course, Georgia could possibly sneak in, even though, like I said, so much turnover there. At some point, it's hard to match that level of play every year, you know.
Definitely. Yeah. We're with Robert Butler of SportSkope. Got another question for you on the SEC, and it's the home of, and it's your home. It's where you are. I guess that's where they stationed Jay Cutler's old place, because we were talking about Cutler earlier. Does Vanderbilt, can they get a couple? I mean, how many wins? Are they better?
You know, Vanderbilt won last week. They beat Hawaii last year. They beat Florida. They could win 6 games. This Clark Lee, he's not quite James Franklin of a recruiter, but he's a much better coach than I thought he was going to be. You know, they'll probably win maybe 5-6 games, maybe 7 if they get lucky. But they came a long way, you know. But it's not going to be Franklin.
They're in Nashville, right?
Franklin.
They're in Nashville. Are they?
I'm in Nashville. Yeah. I work at the hospital and everything. I pick up at the hospital. I drive by the stadium every day.
Because I would think it could end up being a destination for players at some point. I mean, Nashville, I know it doesn't work.
It's really nice here, but the Vanderbilt, we've never really taken them serious. There's more UT fans here college-wise than it is Vanderbilt, and it's a Titans town also with the NFL. They've been decent in basketball a few years.
Yeah.
They had a nice little run with James Franklin, but people just don't take them too seriously. It's a big academic school, big medical school, hospitals and clinics. Oh, man, you can all over the place, you know. So little bitty stadium. It's not a typical SEC stadium. Probably seats maybe 50, 60. I mean, Neyland, where University of Tennessee plays, it's like it's pretty close to the Big House in Michigan, you know. It's over 100,000 seats.
long time ago, I visited my sister who lived in Oak Ridge, I guess
East Tennessee,
And we
went the nuclear plant.
Yes, and her husband worked
over
there.
Homer Simpson up there.
Yeah. Well, her husband, who went to the University of Tennessee, I was able to walk on the field, and it was most unbelievable. Just looking up with
beautiful,
no fans.
Man. Yeah,
enormous.
Really big, man. Really big.
All right.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What do you think Miami's chances are this year? You think they're going to improve themselves or what?
It's really hard to say. I do think they're going to improve. I mean, Cristobal, I was a big Cristobal guy. I like what he did at Oregon. Got off to a bumpy start last year, lost to teams like MTSU, couldn't believe it. But I don't think they're going to be like a national championship contender, but I do see them improving maybe 8-9 games. And that doesn't, maybe they knock out A&M. They play A&M at home later on this year. We'll have to see. It's really hard to tell. But usually the second year for a player in the NFL and a second year for a coach in major college football, that's usually where you see the big difference here. That's the big jump. Last year was Josh Heupel's second year for Tennessee. They were their 5-loss team. They went to 11-2, best record in 20 years. And I didn't think Heupel was going to be that good, to be honest with you, because he wasn't great in Florida, UCF or whatever.
Tampa, Tennessee, really, it's time. I mean, you think about it, it's been a long time. It's been a real long time for them. And
over 20 years where they've really been taken, seriously, national championship seriously.
So when we look at the top, and this is going off what Urban Meyer said, which was interesting. You got, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama. Let's just go with them four. Yeah. All of them are missing quarterback, except Michigan brought back JJ, McCarthy.
McCarthy, yeah.
And they have Corum at the running back. I think Ohio State has the best wide receivers and running backs in football. I think as a group, all of it. But they probably, the quarterback, I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
So let's go with those four teams. Who's next, right? I mean, let's go. He said, could we find 10 that could win a national championship? Maybe?
Okay. I mentioned Tennessee. They could with the right break.
Right.
All right. Mentioned LSU earlier.
Definitely.
Okay. With the right break. Some people have put in Penn State in there.
Good defense. Yeah.
Yeah. They've only had 2 losses last year. Texas has got 10 starters coming back. Only person they lost was Bijan Robertson. That's a running back. Okay. Can Sarkisian handle this kind of pressure? They've had really good recruiting last 2. They were top 5 2 years in a row. They're big NIL, a lot of old money down there. but also a lot of pressure. They got Arch Manning, Eli Manning, Peyton Manning's nephew. They could legitimately win a national championship. I said USC, Oregon recruiting really well as well. And really, if you want to throw in maybe a Washington, Michael Penix, he's considered to be a draft pick player as well. You know, who would have thought TCU got there last year, guys?
Right.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that would have never picked TCU. They had 5 losses. They're playing in the Big 12. Are you kidding me?
Penix, man, when he played for Indiana, he gave everyone in the Big Ten fits. I'll tell you what, that kid's good. Really
Another
good.
transfer. I didn't know that. He transferred from Indiana?
Indiana. Okay. Oh, and he gave Ohio State all kinds of trouble. In Michigan, he just was tough. He's good. So that's a group. That's a good group there. And I guess USC, what do you think of on the border?
In there. Florida State could be in there. Oh, Clemson.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
Actually got Clemson in my Final Four. I've got Clemson there. Their quarterback, I hear he's having a really good count. That Clemson defense is always there. Notre Dame with the right break.
Yeah,
they got Ohio State at home this year. Sam Hartman, very good quarterback. I'm surprised that Alabama didn't get him in the transfer portal. But Notre Dame defense played really well towards the end there. They could legitimately,
Robert Hartman, is it North Carolina or Wake Forest?
Wake Forest.
Forest. Okay. Yeah. They're going to be trouble. I mean, maybe he's right. That's a bunch of teams we just mentioned that could.
Yeah, it's wide open, guys.
Yeah,
it's wide open.
Wow.
There's no dominant favorite. I mean, the contrary of what some of the national media, they'll say the Georgia. Like I said, 25 players in 2 years. It's hard to just keep replicating that. Even if you are recruiting well, Nick Saban's had a #1 class year after year, and I think he went back to back once.
Right. Who's your Final Four?
Okay. Final Four is Alabama, Clemson, Michigan, LSU. Bama beats LSU. Let's see. Bama beats LSU. Michigan beats Clemson. Alabama beats Michigan. Wins a national championship. Could go the other way. Could be none of those 4 in there.
Well,
it's crazy this year.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody I talk to gives them the same answer. Nobody can give me like a straight. There's no consensus. That's other than maybe Michigan because they got so many players coming back.
The division in the SEC with those teams. Yeah. I mean, they're awfully. You just watch that alone. I mean, those two divisions, the East and the West. I mean, geez, and I like what they did. And Alabama and Georgia separated. I wish Ohio State and Michigan would be in different divisions. It's really kind of foolish because then it's always Wisconsin to just get beat up on.
And Luke Fickell at Wisconsin, former Cincinnati coach. I mean,
true.
Ohio State's got a rough. I mean, they got a shot, but man, you got to play at Wisconsin. You got to play at Michigan, at Notre Dame. They've got a rough road this year. Yeah, they got a tougher schedule. And I think it's Kyle McCord, but then there's another guy. I have a feeling they're going to be going they're going to be going with that kid too. I think his name. Okay. I think I'm forgetting his name. It's like Brown or something. But Devin Brown and Kyle McCord. McCord, I think it'll be interesting. They play Indiana tomorrow. I think they're only favored by 30. But still, I thought it'd be more. I may take Indiana. All? Yeah, right. You can take Indiana. It's in Indiana though. I'll say this. I was saying to someone, all these teams, you might want to take – because think of all the quarterbacks. It's their first game, some of them. I mean, some of these guys, I don't know how Alabama's going to although they're playing who, Middle Tennessee? Yeah. Okay. Well, he's played a couple of games. Now, Milton's played – remember Milton played against Vanderbilt, and he played against Clemson and had played really well last year. So he's got some experience here. And the guy's 24 years old. I mean, he's not like he's 19 and he's a sophomore, and it's a big difference. Well, I'm going to let you go here in a minute. Yeah. I want to get I want to get your pick. You like LSU on Sunday night? Yeah. Okay, like LSU. Yeah. What about the Thursday night game, Kansas City and Detroit, going to the NFL? What do you think in that one? Well, I tell you, man, I think Kansas City can pull it out, but Chris Jones, that defensive tackle, is still holding out for them. I can see a scenario where Detroit runs the ball, they convert on third down, and they upset the champs. I don't think it'll happen because you look at Andy Reid, he's always got new tricks and plays that he schemes up over the summer. One of the best September coaches ever. But Chris Jones, if he remains out, this team is vulnerable like nobody's business. He's that good a defensive player.
Since you said that, let me play a 30-second clip from Andy Reid. I want you guys both to hear this. Maybe you already know this, but this is the first I heard of it. Here, check this out.
Hey, Doug, you got to tell me this.
Well, no, we had a janitor. It was a mom and pop group that cleaned our facility forever, and then they worked game day. And, this guy kept telling me, he was the owner of the company, the father of the family, and he goes, I've got this play for you. And he kept telling me this over and over. Finally, I said, okay, here's a card, draw up the play. And he drew up the play. I go, dang, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. We called the play just before halftime, and it scored. And he starts hitting his wife, and he's going, that's my play, that's my play. And she's going, yeah, right. Yeah, sure it is. And that, that's...
he's always... I played that the other day. I could not believe it. But then again, Andy Reid, he's very flexible. He's one of the only few coaches, and he said this publicly. He said, listen, I play to my players' strengths, and I ask them, what are they more comfortable with? In other words, I don't make you fit my system. I look at your talents, and I build my system around you. He thought that maybe McNabb had he would be more suitable for a quick twitch, right, kind of a drop down offense. And then you look at Mahomes, and he's got all this stuff going in different directions and him running, and it just seems to fit him perfectly.
He's the last of the good ones, man. Because if you notice,
he's something. I've always liked the way he worked with quarterbacks, man.
Have you noticed? And I got to let you go, but I've noticed that you don't have the tree anymore. Like, remember the tree from Bill Walsh? You had all these guys. You don't see them anymore. There's no more trees.
No.
All the 49ers coordinators.
Yeah.
That is true. And then you got the Parcells tree with Belichick and everybody. Nobody talks about trees anymore.
No, they don't have them. Because you think Tomlin would have a tree, but he doesn't.
No tree from Tomlin. No.
20 years.
Well, people were saying maybe McVay, but
yeah,
it's early in the game for all that.
All right, Robert, I'm going to let you go. You got a show to do tonight. What time? 8 o'clock Eastern, right?
Yeah, 8 o'clock. I'm going to go argue with Mad New Yorker about all this college football.
Oh, good. I'll join
the Trey
you.
Lance story.
I'll jump in and argue. All right, man. I'm glad you came with us. We'll get you back again.
Have a good show, guys.
Thanks, Robert.
See you, man.
Take care. All right, so Robert Butler down in SEC country. A lot of information for us, man. He knows his stuff. Down in Nashville. Have you been to Nashville?
Never. I'd love to go, though.
I was there in Nashville was way different then. It was 1980. I was a kid. It'd be like 1984, 83. It was ridiculous. The only thing that was there was the Grand Ole Opry and a bunch of plantations. I mean, there wasn't much going on.
When did it become a thing?
It had to be, I should have asked him, it had to be feels like it was early, maybe to mid 2000s. Like it really blew up to where it is now. It's a destination. It's like Southern Las Vegas or something. It's better than New Orleans, it seems like.
Yeah.
Like the shit on Bourbon Street. All right, let's do this real quick. Where's our music? All right, Scott, I find it hard real quick on this game because I brought it up with Robert. I want to hear what you think. I'm finding it hard to believe that the Chiefs don't beat the Lions. Do they cover? I don't know. It's 6.5 last I saw.
6.5.
Yeah. What do you? I think they cover.
I think I'm trying to remember if I bet this. I thought I did. I forgot to show you my bets too. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm logging into my account. So.
Okay, because I got a bunch I want to read to you guys. I had a good night last night. I was 3-0.
Nice.
I'm really good usually to start the college season, and then once they get tape on me or something, it just falls out. Like I don't know when, but there's a point where the rug gets pulled out from under me. It's probably when the NFL starts, which is like I have one good week. So
so look at this. This was my bet that I placed weeks ago.
Okay.
Like weeks ago. Before any preseason games are played or anything. I bet Detroit plus 6.5.
Okay.
Pittsburgh plus 2.5.
Oh, I remember this.
Carolina plus 3, and the Texans plus 9.5.
Oh yeah, I remember all this. Yeah.
Yep. I bet Garrett Wilson. Yesterday, I put $5 on Garrett Wilson to lead the league in receiving touchdowns.
Scott, I'm forgetting. Is the game in Detroit? Do we know? I don't. I got it written down, and I don't even know where the freaking
No,
game
it's at Kansas City, man.
Kansas City. See, I don't see it.
No. I don't either, but I'll take the points.
Yeah. This is going to be a big. It's kind of sad. It's week 1, but if the Lions.
Yeah, I did an 8-legger.
Did you?
Which is, I have Carolina plus 3.5. Boy, I love Carolina this year.
Yeah.
And the under 40 points. Kansas City minus 6.5. Boy, I really bet against myself there, huh? Baltimore Ravens minus 10. Minnesota Vikings minus 6. Washington Commanders minus 7 because they're going to destroy Arizona. Bet against Arizona every single week all year. New Orleans minus 3 and Jacksonville minus 4.5. $10. I'll win $1,500. We'll see what happens. Wait a minute. I got another one. I got a 7-legger. Kansas City Chiefs minus 4.5. This one I messed around with. Kansas City minus 4.5. Under 54.5 points in the game. San Francisco and Pittsburgh over 40.5 points. Houston and Baltimore under 44. Arizona, Washington under 38.5.
Wow. Yeah.
Tennessee, New Orleans over 41.5. And Jacksonville, Indianapolis under 45.5. I put $5 on that.
I'm really starting to like New Orleans more than I did when we
Love
originally.
them for the division.
Yeah, like they look good. They look all right.
Yeah.
You know, they got some things. I mean,
wait a minute, they're in your division, right?
They're in the. They're with Atlanta and.
Yeah, no, I like them to win their division, man.
I think Atlanta, Tampa, and Carolina. So they
I don't think they're giving them enough. They haven't talked about them enough this year either.
And Camaro will be back after his 3-game suspension. So
David Carr is not a bad quarterback.
No, he's really not.
They forget all that or something. I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
He could win. I could see it. Put him on San Francisco. It'd be interesting, huh? I mean,
that'd be wild.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
All right. So let me give you my picks for college football. I like Michigan tonight. This is for tonight. These ones. It's Louisville minus 6.5 against Georgia Tech. I really, this is an 11 o'clock game. It starts tonight. I like Hawaii plus 3.5 over Stanford. Michigan State might be starting in like 2 minutes, but I like Michigan State minus 14 against Central Michigan. Tomorrow, Colorado, that's Deion Sanders' team. They're playing against TCU. They're plus 21.5. I like the 21.5 because TCU's lost a lot of guys. So I would think Colorado could keep it close. And with him, he brought in some good players. North Carolina plays North Carolina State. I like North Carolina, but I did it on the money line. And I love Iowa minus 20 against Utah State. If you've never watched a game in Iowa, it's incredible what they do. It's what an atmosphere. The way they got like hanging right over the stadium is a children's hospital, and all the little kids, when they wave at them in the first quarter. It's kind of cool, and it's a whole thing. Cool. I really like Iowa to win that game and cover. Love Washington tomorrow. We were just talking about Penix against Boise State minus 14. And then Sunday Night Football is a great one. Number 5 LSU plays number 8 FSU. I like LSU. I always go with the SEC, and I kind of like Louis. I like them. I like them a lot. So are you going to dip into any college, you think?
I'm betting it right now. I just bet Hawaii.
Oh, good. Love Hawaii. Tonight, 11 o'clock.
You're going to post your bets? Are you going to post them on Facebook? Okay.
Yes, I'm going
to. Post them so I see them. So I didn't write it all down. I don't want to have to watch this back, unfortunately. I know you usually post your stuff, but
Michigan State really missed out on, but that's all right. They're giving 14.5. Central Michigan, they should. That's always weird when you got Western Michigan, Central Michigan. Anytime they play, even the big team, it's such a big game for them, right? Because they're always getting those are like big brother type stuff. So or little sister, I don't even know what you call them. But anyhow, before we go.
You like Michigan on the money? You like a minus 14? Or you like a minus the points?
I do. If you could lower the points, that's even cool a little bit, just to be sure. But I still am good. I took them at 14.5, but I could see lowering a little bit. If you throw them in a parlay, like last night, I did a bunch of money lines, and teams were like minus 600. It was it almost seemed easy. I mean, if you pile enough of them up together,
sure, you pile enough of them up, you get into the plus range.
Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely, that's what I like to do in football.
Before we go, there's a game Thursday night that we're not going to talk about real fast. We won't break it down or nothing. What do you think? You pick both sides, but who do you like?
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Minus the 6.5.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Robin?
Until they're proven wrong.
Robin? Chiefs? I'm going with the Chiefs, too. I think the Lions, it's out of control. I'm sorry. I know they're good, but I don't know if we're in. I don't think they're even in the top. If you put all the teams together, I'm not even sure if they're in the top 12. Like,
no.
If they didn't make the playoffs just because they win their division, I don't know if they would. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Right, exactly.
I don't know if they're there. They're not better than.
Goff's got to show me a lot more.
Like, they're not better than the third place team in the AFC East. They're not going to be better than, I mean, we can go on and on. Even probably, are they better than the Giants, really? Probably not.
Probably not. Or maybe, no, the running game doesn't even compete.
Yeah, so get the Giants. I mean, I don't even have to win. Who knows what goes
on?
I think Jacksonville's better than them.
Jacksonville's better.
Yeah, I think they're better. I think
Cleveland.
Who is that?
Cleveland.
I think they're better. I think they're more like Pittsburgh.
Oh, you don't like Pittsburgh, huh?
No, I
don't like Kenny Pickett.
No, I do, but I think like they're still marching.
My problem with it is Goff is older. Yeah, Kenny Pickett's younger.
I like the Steelers better.
Goff, you got what you get. If you don't protect him, you're not going to win games.
I'm also a little scared, only because I'm a Bears fan, that the Packers aren't as bad as everyone thought they were going to be.
I think Jordan Love's going to be really good, dude.
He's looked really good, and that's unfortunate. Been waiting for Rodgers to leave, and here comes this guy.
Christian Watson.
Yeah, they look good. They look and they got a running game.
They're young.
I don't like it. What's going to happen week 1? Alrighty, this is such.
Maybe you think I liked it when Tua started off with the greatest offense in the NFL last year? Jesus Christ! I'm like, here we go. We finally get good, and we got this shit we got to deal with now. You know. Now we got Aaron Rodgers to deal with. It's like, dude, can we just be the Patriots for like 3-4 years?
You're right.
Too much to ask for.
Well, yeah, because the Patriots, when they were marching through, when you think about it, no one was good.
I wouldn't even worry. It was like you knew they were going to win the division every single year. They always did.
Yeah.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
All right, let's get out of here because there's a lot of football to watch and stuff. And it's going to be 100 degrees starting Monday, so that'll be fun.
Let's go.
All right, Scott. I'll post my picks. I'll see everything. All right. I'll see you next week. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wednesday at like 8:00, we're going to do a collaboration with the Pittsburgh Sports Desk, where me and Scott will be there with those guys. We had my friend Bill on. He was there. He was our Steelers guy. So,
right. I remember him.
He's going to be on with the Steelers. We got a guy who's a command up in Washington, and then we'll all just talk and have like a round table for about an hour. So. Cool. Wednesday night, right here. Awesome. All right, Scott. I'll see you next week. I'll see you sooner.
Yeah, we'll see you Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. All right, guys. Take care if I can find our fucking music. All right.